Worried about AI taking your job away? Have you been thinking about what would happen if AI took your job away? I think this is something that we should all be thinking about. And I don't know if we're seriously understanding what AI has the potential to do. So, thank you for joining me live tonight. I want to talk about this and I want to raise the issue and then give everybody some advice on what to do about AI and also about managing your career inside of this new normal. I was watching a video earlier on YouTube and it was pretty good. And the gentleman was saying, we have 24 months before the talent disruption occurs. So, for most of you, you have no idea who I am. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm in talent development and HR. And I'm raising the alarm about the fact that we have to be thinking about what the world of work is going to look like when AI comes for our jobs. And especially for people of color and for women. So there's some really alarming statistics about the world of work and the world of work that is going to exist from here on out. So I was a speaker in March at South by Southwest, and there's this gentleman that wrote a great book called The Future of No Work. And I was fascinated by this book and fascinated by what he wrote. And so let's have a discussion about the future of work. Most of your employers aren't going to tell you that your job is on the chopping block. They're not going to tell you that your work may not be around in 5 years or 4 years. And for most of you, you think you're in a safe role and nothing can happen to you. And you're not going to get displaced because you've been doing something for so long, or you have X number of college degrees, or you have all of this information, and you think because you are well trained and you are well educated that you're going to have a job in 5 years. Because I'm in talent development and I'm in HR, I'm here to tell you that that is not true. That your employer is not telling you the truth about what is coming for your jobs. So the question is, will AI take my job? I think if you ask the question that way, if you ask the question, will AI take my job? You actually missed the point. That's not the question that you should be asking. So if you're watching me live, put in the chat what you think the question should be as I try to explain what this question should be. All right, so here's the illusion that we're all under, that we can go into ChatGPT, we can go into Claude, and we can go to Midjourney and all these other softwares, and we can be end users. We can put in prompts, we can use it to write for us, we can use it to do all kinds of stuff. Your employer is not thinking that way. Your employer is thinking, anything that ChatGPT can do, I don't need you to do it. That's how your employer is thinking. Your employer is not thinking, oh, I'm going to teach Margaret how to use ChatGPT and you're going to become this really better employee. It's not happening, right? What is going to happen is they're going to create a bot, an AI agent, who will basically dismantle you. So how do you know that your job is on the line? How do you know? Okay, so many of you have been sleepwalking through work. Like you can go to work right now and you can do your job with no issues, eyes closed. I don't need anything. I can do my job with no problems. If you're in a job that you can do with no problems, that job is probably ready to be automated. That's the first sign that you're in trouble. The second sign that you're in trouble is that you have your work is so automated, it's so routine that it's just simple. You can just take any part of your job and replace it. Doesn't matter. You can replace the job. It doesn't matter. It's pretty easy. It's systematic. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. If it can be done in steps, your job can be automated. So here's the real fact for people of color, Black folks, talking to you. 4.5 million jobs will be automated in the next 2 to 3 years. And when those jobs get automated, you will be unemployed. That's a reality. Okay? That's a reality right there. If you don't reskill or upskill yourself, you will not have a job. And most people right now, it doesn't matter what college education you have, what certifications you have, what anything you have, your job has the ability to be disrupted. Let me give you an example. I travel a lot. I was in the Dallas airport a few months ago when I went to South by Southwest. There's a little robot inside of the airport, Terminal A, and the robot takes your order, and the robot brings you back your order. And there's only a person in the back who is actually preparing the food. But there's a test kitchen right now in Chicago that is being run completely by AI. And so if you think that there's a job that can't be done by AI right now, then you're mistaken. The only things that I can think of is your hairdresser, nail salon, your construction for the most part, and so on. But the number one job that is on the chopping block right now is truck drivers, customer service reps, people who make call centers, who answer calls, anything that can be done through an automated agent is on the line. So I don't want to scare you, but I do want to scare you. I want to scare us into thinking differently about what we're doing, right? We can't continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect some different result. It's just not going to happen, right? So if you're worried about an AI taking your job, this is the program for you to watch, because I'm going to give you 10 questions that you need to answer or get answers to from your employer. And if you've not followed my channel, follow me here on YouTube. I'm also on LinkedIn. Again, it's Margaret Spence. I'm on both platforms. And I want to give you like a couple questions that you need to be asking yourself. All right, so let's get to some definitions. AI disruption, what does that mean for me as an employee? AI disruption is any part of your job that can be done automated. If 45% of your job can be done automated, then that job is disrupted. 25% of your task can be taken away from you and given to an automated bot or given to an automated agent, then your job is now disrupted. So that means that your job is subject to AI disruption. What they're not telling you is that the AI system, every 5 months, the AI system duplicates and is faster than it was in the 5 months before. So while we may think that this can't happen, it's not going to happen to us. It's going to be a while before it gets to me because everything seems normal right now. There's nothing going on. And those of us in talent and HR, we're like not doing a lot except learning how to prompt. Because the reality is when the bot takes over and the AI agent starts doing your job, there won't be enough time for you to be reskilled into another job. it's going to take a while for you to take your current skills that you have right now and turn it into something else, right? And so that's where we're missing. That's where we're missing the point. That's why I'm doing this program, and I'm going to keep doing these programs at different times during the day and really talk to people about their careers and what it means to reskill yourself now in preparation for what's coming. Okay, so let's talk about what you should be doing. 59% of workers will need retraining by 2030. 59% of workers. That is almost 60% of people who are working right now will need retraining by 2030. We're in 2025. 2030 is 5 years from now. And I don't even think it's 2030. I think 2030 is like some big estimate. But I just spoke at the Talent Development Conference, and I was a main stage speaker, and I spoke about building springboards and not ceilings. And if we are not building springboards, you are being hit with a ceiling, meaning you have nowhere to go. You will be unemployed, broke, and out there trying to figure it out, because the disruption that's coming, everyone knows it's happening. The people creating the artificial intelligence and these platforms already know. There was a video that I saw here on YouTube where the Anthropic CEO said he's worried. He was being interviewed on CNN, and he's worried about the future of work. So maybe we're the only ones that. So here's the thing. People are saying the quiet part out loud, but most people aren't listening to the quiet part out loud, right? Okay, so what should you do? Let's just get to the point, right? What should you do? There's some specific questions that you should ask your employer. And I wrote them down so that I can give them to you very specifically, right? All right. So the first question that you need to ask your employer is, what specific job in our company could I transfer to if my job is automated? So a lot of you aren't thinking about what automation really means. Okay, let me give you an example of what could be going on inside of your organization. There are departments that are now doing AI implementation, and they're trying to figure out, or they may be looking at the efficiency of your role. And so if somebody's looking at efficiency of your role, and the organization is saying we're going to implement AI for efficiency, what they're basically saying is we're going to implement AI and see how many humans we can get rid of. That's the fact. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, right? It's coded words that mean the same thing. You're going to be gone as soon as we can figure out how to make the AI do your job. Because if I take away, as I said at the beginning, disruption of your job is taking away 35 to 40% of your role. If 35 or 40% of your role is gone, what's left? Why would I have you there full time when 40% of your role is being done by artificial intelligence? So that's it. The first question is, what specific jobs in our company can I transition into? That's the first question. Because if the organization is thinking about laying people off or changing the way roles are structured right now, you want to know, can I stay here or should I be looking somewhere else, right? Don't ask, are there upskilling opportunities? Ask for job titles. Ask for, what specific role can I take my skills I have right now and go to, and that includes automation or includes AI, right? The other thing that you need to be asking is, what training are you willing to give me as an organization to make me ready for the AI disruption that's coming to this organization? And when do you plan to bring that forward, right? What training am I going to be offered? When is it going to be offered to me? And what specific training are you giving me? Are you giving me prompting, which is not going to help me? Or are you going to give me how to be a translator for a an AI agent? Or am I going to have to do a complete relearn of everything that I've done before? So that's one thing. What's the salary range for positions if we get disrupted by artificial intelligence in this role? And you're telling me that I could stay with this company. What does this look like for me down the road? Right? What does this look like? Tell me exactly what this looks like. I want to know what's the salary range for the possible positions you're thinking about. Are you all thinking of laying off certain departments because you're going to automate those departments? Or are you planning to keep us here for a period of time while you do automation? We have to ask questions of our employers. And sometimes because those questions are uncomfortable, we don't want to open our mouth up and ask those questions. But at the end of the day, you got to ask the question, right? So if you have a question right now for me, put it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer it. And talk with you about what's going on or what I see from talent development. What I see is the future of work. The future of work, especially for people of color, especially for women, it is getting reskilled now. It's taking the ball by our horn, not waiting for the organization to save you. Here's what I know, because I've been through the 2000 crisis, the 1995 crisis. I remember when I came out of college, we were in the middle of a recession and people couldn't find jobs. The AI disruption has the potential to be just like the pandemic, where people are off work and trying to figure it out, and there's no one hiring. That's the future that we're looking at by 2030. So our 5-year window is massive disruption in the workforce. Our current window, that if we are smart, we begin to understand, okay, how do I create opportunities for myself? One of the things that I was looking at, Reid Hoffman, who was the guy that created LinkedIn and, one of the PayPal bros, he said the future of work could be entrepreneurial. Maybe it's not working for a corporation. Maybe it's using the same AI tools to create something for yourself. So there's a lot coming down the pipeline, but we cannot be stuck in, oh, I'm comfortable. Everything's okay. I don't need to worry. I have it all under control, right? We cannot be stuck in that place because your employer doesn't give a rat's ass about you. Let me just say that clear, so there's no misunderstanding. If they're going to lay you off, here's the thing. Duolingo the other day said, we're getting rid of all the humans and we're just going to use AI. We're not hiring anybody else. We're just going to hire AI. Salesforce said the same thing. We're not hiring any more engineers. We think if AI can do it, it can get done. Shopify said, we're not hiring any more humans. Prove to me that you need a human because a bot can do it. So that's where the mindset of the corporate structure is right now. The corporate structure's mindset is, we're going to work on efficiency, we're going to cut costs, and if we can go to zero in terms of our overhead, then so be it. But there is a problem with that because work is a necessity for us to live and eat and breathe and have the things that we call comforts. No one is going to come and hand us money because we don't have work. At least unemployment is not sustainable, right? So we have to think differently. So one of the questions that I suggest that people start asking is, how do we transition from our current role to what the future is going to look like in this organization? Right? How do we transition, right, based on the future? So if I'm currently in a job, if I'm currently in a role, and I think this role might be automated, what is it that I should do exactly so that I can figure out what comes next. What can I do? So yes, Sawyer, the AI is being improved so well that they're better at most, and some humans, and they're multiplying over time. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. For every 5 months, the AI is getting better. And the AI's intelligence is getting so good that it can replace a lot of jobs right now, this second. And every 5 months, the AI gets better. And so the capacity is better. And because the capacity is better, it will allow it to do things that we take for granted, right? I'll give you the example. I was on Instagram a couple of days ago, and there was a radiologist on Instagram, and he says, I've spent 20 years beyond my training learning how to read x-rays and learning how to read CT scans and learning how to identify things that's wrong with people in an x-ray. He said, they implemented AI here at our hospital. The AI reads the x-ray before I see it, and the AI can read the x-ray in a couple of minutes. And so far, the AI has never been wrong. And so what is it that I'm supposed to be doing as a radiologist if this gets so good that it can read the x-ray faster than I can read it, and it can identify things that I probably would have missed with my naked eye because it's going more microscopic than I can go. So there isn't a point where disruption is not going to happen. There's not a point. Anybody that tells you that disruption is not going to happen is freaking lying to you. And that's why I'm doing these, because I sit in those rooms where people are making those decisions, and they're not making those decisions in a public way. They're making those decisions around future of work. And future of work says, I don't need as many people as I have right now. That's the question that they're saying. And that's the discussion that is occurring. But right now, if we can keep us all confused, keep us all running around looking at all the things that's going on around us right now in terms of, I'm in the US, so what's going on around us in the US, then we will not see what is coming for us in 36 months. Because we're busy working on this thing while they're doing this thing over here. And if quantum computing is occurring and the software is getting faster and better, it means that we are on the menu. We are on the menu. The menu is us. And that's the part that is not being told. We are on the menu. So part of my goal in doing these lives, I'm going to start doing more of them, is to really talk to people about how do you reskill. Because it's one thing to say the word reskill. Your company will say, oh, we're going to reskill the workforce. They're going to say that out loud. We're going to reskill the workforce. We're going to give you new skills. The reality is they're not going to invest what it takes to give you new skills. They're not going to invest that much money to get you new skills. So we're going to have to invest in our own selves to get the skills that we need. So if your employer says, we will reskill you, we'll give you new skills, the question is, you have to ask is this an internal program that you've created, or is this an external program that I can take anywhere? Because here's the risk that we have. Organizations will create internal programs, and they will be designed quite well, and they will look like they're going to give us everything we need. And the reality is what it's giving us is just to meet the current employer's requirements. It's not giving us anything that we can transfer to another employer. So we have to be conscious about what we're getting when somebody says, I'm going to reskill you, I'm going to give you a new job, I'm going to train you to do something new because we plan to automate this particular thing. What we have to say is that internal training that you created, or is that something that you've gone out, that I'm going to go out somewhere and get? And if it's something you've created internally, can I get something external? Can I find a course on Coursera? Can I find something somewhere else? And when I find that thing somewhere else, can I go take that thing somewhere else? And will you pay for it? Right? Okay. So the next question that I want you all to start to ask employers is, what roles in our company are most at risk of AI and AI retooling? Which department are you thinking about retooling? Here's an example. Years ago, eons ago, right? When the auto industry automated, right? The auto industry decided to automate, and they decided to bring robots in to build the cars. A lot of the people that were on those lines that were assembling those cars lost their job because of automation. That was the first foray into robotics, was the auto industry, right? Now we're foraying into automation at quantum speeds with an AI system that is learning faster than it did before. So do we wait for the employer to say, I've got the AI ready to take your job? Or do you say, what is the timeline for the transition? If you are thinking about bringing AI into this workforce, what is the timeline for transition? Are you going to do that in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? Are you going to maintain the human factor as you implement the AI factor? Is the organization committed to keeping the human in the AI, or is the organization only going to look at the cost savings of implementing AI? So that's the other question. To the timeline for the transition, and how will I know that this transition is going to occur? The next thing is, what situation is the organization going to offer me reskilling? Right? Give me some ideas about when you plan to do this transition so that I can plan. I can have an idea, right, of what's coming. So here's what I say to people, and I'm going to do another one of these lives about what happens if you are laid off as a result of an AI process. What do you ask for on your way out the door? And that's what I don't think people recognize, that you can ask for stuff on your way out the door if you're being laid off for automation. You can ask for reskilling. You can ask for courses. You can ask for outplacement. There's lots of things that you can ask for if your job is being eliminated because of automation and because of AI, right? So one of the red flags that I want to really talk about on this live today is, if you get vague answers from your employer, if you start asking questions about AI, is AI coming? Is it going to be something that we're going to do? And you start getting, like vague answers. Things like, oh, we're going to do digital transformation. That's a nice buzzword. We're going to do digital transformation. Digital transformation means that they are evaluating every single job in that organization, and they're trying to figure out how they can merge things together to automate it completely. Digital transformation is a better word of saying, I plan to transform this organization digitally, and we will decide how many humans stay here or not. And so we have to recognize the buzzwords, the words that mean that we are on the chopping block, right? We also have to look at our own profession. All right, here's the example. I said earlier that truck drivers are one of the number one professions right now that is at risk of being automated. There's 250,000 roles that are truck drivers that have the potential to be automated, right? What's the skill that the truck driver has that's going to take them into another job? That is the question. If I am a current clerical support role in an organization and I'm in a clerical support role, what is the skill that I have that's going to take me somewhere else? Because if the clerical support roles are going to go away, what is that skill? Here's a bigger example. Time out for a second. New graduates coming out of school. AI has taken a large percentage of the new jobs, the entry-level jobs that could be available for young people graduating this year. AI has taken those jobs. I have seen TikTok videos, Instagram videos. I've seen videos on LinkedIn, right? How is anybody finding a job was one of the ones I saw on TikTok. How's anybody finding a job? Because the entry-level roles have already been absorbed by AI. So if the entry-level roles are absorbed by AI, how does a new college graduate, new high school graduate find their first job coming out of school right now? And how do they gain the skills they need so that they become our future leaders? If we're taking all the jobs that would give them the skills away, then what happens? These are the discussions that we need to be having within our communities, within our organizations, within our churches, within our synagogues, within our places of worship, because these are the questions that are going to affect us as people, as humans, as the automation process is undertow. We need to be having the discussions because the people building the automation have one goal in mind: make it quick, make the money, and make it automated. They don't have this thing up, oh wait, pull up. Maybe if we do this, people are going to lose their jobs. That's not what they are thinking. So we have to think differently. So red flags, digital transformation, upskilling is a word that gets thrown out a lot. We're going to upskill you. We're going to upskill you. We're going to upskill you. Okay, great. Thank you for that upskilling. But what does that mean in reality? What's the course? What's the job you're upskilling me for? What is the requirement for this new job that you're creating for me, or for my department, or for my business unit? What does that actually look like in reality? Right? So that's part of it. If they can't give you a job title that you're going to, if they can't give you how the course or the upskilling process is going to work, then you have a problem. If there's no salary information about a new role, then that's a problem. If you don't see any success stories. So here's the thing. We're going to upskill 5 people. We're going to take this department of clerical workers and we're going to give you some training and we're going to make you good and you're going to go to a new department. How many times have they done that? Okay, this is the first time. How many jobs do they have at the end of the upskilling? Or are they just laying me off for a few more weeks? Right? What kind of salary can I expect after I go through this course that you're giving me to reskill me for this new role? What's the salary? Is it half of what I'm making now? Is it the same as what I'm making now? Is it more than what I'm making now? Right? What are they investing for the long haul in my reskilling? Right? Any more questions? Put them in the chat. I'd love to answer if you're hung out with me this whole time. What's your question? What's your burning question about, is AI taking your job? What's the burning question about that that you want answered? So, yeah, I think these are some valid points that I'm raising. If your company is not offering reskilling, if you hear the buzzword and it's going through your organization and they're saying, you know what, AI is coming and they're probably going to take my job. If they're not offering it, you need to start looking externally for things that you can take to get better. Coursera is a great place to go to take courses on AI and digitization and for AI, agents or other things. We cannot wait for the organization to make decisions about us. We have to be willing to make those decisions ourselves. And if you're worried about your career right now, if you're worried about being laid off, if you've already been laid off, it's time to rethink about work differently than we've been thinking about work. Like, we can't think about work the same way that we've been thinking about work. Work was designed in the industrial age to keep us on this treadmill, right? The new world of work is going to be completely different. Everything I've seen and everything I've read and everything I've watched says the world of work will be different. And because of AI and because the rapid deployment of AI, the world of work will look completely different. And so I'm not here to tell you to go use a particular software. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to really talk to everyone about what it's going to take to continue a source of income if automation takes your job. And if you cannot find another source, everything that I've read, the World Economic Forum, the folks at Davos, the United Nations, everybody that's put out a report, major organizations have put out reports on AI. And 90% of those reports say the future of work is self-employment. The future of work is entrepreneurship. The future of work is using the same AI tools to create a method that creates income. So if the prediction is correct that AI is going to come for our jobs and AI is going to disrupt us, what are we planning to do right now? For all of you watching this with me, what do you plan to do right now to prepare yourself for what this looks like in 2 years? Because I think 2 years is about our timeline. I think we have about 2 years to figure out the world of work. And if the AI systems are able to generate and improve as rapidly as they are improving every 5 to 6 months, they iterate faster. And if the AI agents and the AI bots can iterate as fast as they're iterating right now, then there's a lot of lower level jobs, repetitive jobs that will not exist because organizations will find ways to squeeze out humans and give this to the bots to make sure that they are more profitable than they were the day before. Because this is all about profit, right? The AI implementation within organizations and the fact that organizations are saying right now, today, we are making decisions about hiring. Our decision is this. On the one hand, we will hire only if AI can't do it. On the other hand, we will hire only if AI can do it. Can't do it, right? So if those are the decisions that are being made in the corporate circles, our decision needs to be more granular in terms of how we protect ourselves from automation and how do we protect ourselves going long term. So any questions for me, put it in the chat. I'm going to kind of wrap up so that we come to some conclusion about what I've said. This video is not a scare tactic. As I said at the very beginning, I am in talent development and HR. I am, I read a lot of these reports. I am in meetings and in organizations where Reskilling is being discussed. I write a lot of articles on LinkedIn and on my Substack. On my Substack, I write, my Substack is called The Undisruptible Woman, right? So that I am really clear about the disruption that is coming. I write a lot on LinkedIn about how do we maintain our careers. And I write for talent development leaders. The work that I do here on YouTube and coming to YouTube to talk to you all is really about your careers. So the stuff that I'm talking about here is about your career. It's about how do you maintain your career, maintain your income, maintain your lifestyle, um, without being adversely affected by the disruption that can be caused by AI. And that is my goal. And so I want to answer career questions. I want to answer and offer career coaching on this YouTube live, right? Not you go sign up and get something else, right? Just answer questions for people here so that you have a sense of what is coming. You have a sense of maybe I didn't think about it this way. Maybe I need to think about this a little bit differently. Maybe I need to think about asking my employer different questions and looking at how they answer me. And then maybe I need to look at my own skills and say, what part of my skills do I have that can be automated? I'm sitting in my job. I am a accountant. How much of this can be automated in a year? Can they automate this? Can they do a trial balance without me? Where I'm sitting here, adding numbers together, could they create an automated system that balances a checkbook and puts money into where it's supposed to be and all that? If an employer can do, if you think that the role you're in can be automated, then now is the time to think about the skills you need to continue beyond the role you're in right now. I think people get caught up in their job titles. They get caught up in, oh, this is a job I have. This is my role. This is my, and I can't let that go because I'm caught up in that. What AI is going to teach us is that nothing is guaranteed. That's what AI is going to teach us. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is written in granite. Nothing is going to be the same as it was the day before in terms of the world of work. Because as the AI system becomes better, it will do a lot of what we can do. So here's something that happened. There's a gentleman that put, and I'm not on Twitter anymore, but there's a gentleman that put a thing out on Twitter that said he started a company, just he and his co-founder, and he created 10 AI agents to run the company. He has no intentions of hiring any employees. He got funding, like $100,000 in funding. God bless him, right? But his company is making money in a matter of 6 or 7 weeks, and he doesn't have any employees. He only has AI agents. And so the person that posted it came onto LinkedIn yesterday and posted the entire process he did. And he is not running his company with any humans. And he's showing that he can start a company from scratch, use 100% AI agents, and he and his co-founder can run those AI agents, and he can make money, and he can get investors to invest in this company, and he can just keep it moving. That's what we need to be afraid of. And that's not 2030. That's 2025 in June. So anybody that thinks that your job is 100% secure, unless you're a surgeon, brain surgeon, heart surgeon, unless you're a nurse, unless you're a caregiver to somebody, unless you are a hairdresser, maybe a painter in construction, where the manual labor is required, the odds are an AI could be developed to do your job. That's the reality, right? So I'm not here for fear. I'm here to tell you that you need to prepare. Figure it out, look at your skills, get some reskilling, learn how to use AI. Don't be afraid of it. And for those of you that are parents, I'm a grandmother, but for those of you that are parents, here's what I tell you. Don't do what most parents do and say, oh my God, AI is bad. It's bad for my kids. I don't want my kids to have it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because here's the thing. Any child that is in school right now, that is in any form of education, that is not graduating and walking across the stage right now, from 11th grade to kindergarten to the baby that's being born, will enter a world of work 100% different from the current world of work that you and I are working in. And so if we as parents don't get our shit together, our kids will walk into this world with a situation where they are not prepared either. And so our fear about AI will affect our children's future. So we have to get ourselves together and get with the program, because our children will enter a world that is 100% robotic. And if they don't have any exposure to that, if they are still doing things the old way, when they enter, they will not have a world of work to come into. And here's what I know for a fact, right? We are not bringing AI into the school system in the US. We're not doing it. We're not bringing it in to a place where kindergartners starting school in August or September, where kindergartners starting school right now are going to come into the kindergarten class with AI literacy as a part of their education. But guess who's doing that? The Chinese, the people in Singapore, the people in India, the people in other countries are bringing AI into the classroom right now while we're dismantling education. So it's imperative that we, as the adults in the room, the people in the current world of work, make sure that we are preparing not only ourselves for the future of work, but our children for the future of work. Because if we don't prepare the next generation, if we depend on the government, the system, to prepare our children for the future, then we will not have a future for them. So I'm going to end on that. Thanks for joining me. This was great. This was my first late night live. I've enjoyed having those of you who joined me. Thank you, Jamith and Sawyer, and anybody else that watched live the whole program. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'd love to hear what you think about what I've said tonight. If you have some other commentary, please let me know. So until then, I'm Margaret Spence. I am on LinkedIn, and I run the Inclusion Learning Lab, and we are a learning lab that empowers talent development leaders and HR leaders to build a better world of work for everyone. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Margaret Spence on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram under Margaret Spence CEO, and here on YouTube. So take care, everyone, whatever time zone you're in. Thanks for joining me, and I'll pop back on maybe tomorrow night or another night and really talk about some career tools and what happens if AI does take your job. What the hell do you do besides cry? You got to do something else other than crying. So let's keep the dialogue going. Thanks for joining. Take care, everybody. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for watching, and give this a like, a share, tell someone about it, and follow me, join my YouTube channel, and let's keep the dialogue going. Take care. Bye.